Welcome to the Flex Uncensored podcast. We have two fabulous ladies with us today. Nicole, who I've known for a long time now, Nicole Antolino with FireWorks Coworking. You're in, hold on, Marietta or
Yeah,
Alpharetta? Marietta,
Marietta.
near Atlanta. And then Brittany Alavinejad.
Yes.
I do. Okay, yeah.
No, it's perfect. Yes. Good
And
job.
she's in Oklahoma City.
I am, yep.
Totally. Yeah. With essential offices. And this group, except me, we're just together in Atlanta for the GWA Immersive. I'm having tons of FOMO as I've seen all the posts on LinkedIn and whatnot. So Gia's gonna walk us through a little debrief and get to know these ladies a little better.
Yeah, no, I was excited to have some new faces on. We haven't had either of these ladies on the podcast. And Brittany, it was her first GWA event, right?
Yes, it was incredible. It really was. I enjoyed
Yeah,
every
so
Good.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
how far-
she's
is that a drive or what is the is that it,
a flight.
is it it's a flight? Okay. You can
Yeah.
see my US geography.
Sometimes
Stellar.
Jamie gets lost in her mapping of the world,
I know.
the U.S. specifically.
I was having coffee with some friends on Sunday. We had a long debate before we opened Google Maps about what was further north, Austin or Nashville. I know.
We've been there
Nashville.
before, Jamie. We've
Totally.
been there
I knew it
before.
was
Right.
Nashville. My friend who's a doctor thought it was Austin.
That's-
Oh my goodness.
Mhm. The state of geography knowledge in the US is sad. Anyway.
But Jamie, Brittany's been with Beth which Beth has been in the industry forever.
Mhm.
Jamie, I don't know if you know this, but Beth's mom passed away, who originally started the business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I had a chance to talk to Beth and Brittany for a bit before the conference started on Tuesday night at the hotel in the lobby. So, but Brittany was super excited from the very beginning to be there, and so good to have. I was telling Jamie, 44 of the 77 registrants were in there. It was their first GWA experience,
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's amazing.
which is a pretty incredible number.
Mhm.
And then Nicole managed to weasel her way out of being on a panel. So she couldn't get out of the podcast too. So I'm excited to have you on. I mean, you've been in the industry a while, and I know you know Jamie well. And Sunny walked up to me Wednesday while we were there. So
So Sunny's their agency did the GWA, the current version of the
Yeah.
GWA website. I had told Gio that. Nicole, did you know that? You must have been.
You know, I think I've heard that in my time
Okay.
here, but definitely had forgotten. And
I had kind of forgotten too. And when Gio brought them up, I was like, oh my gosh, they were like, they might have been my first cohort of the startup school.
yeah,
And
I do
then-
remember that.
Yeah. And then you went straight into the community manager program, which you've been in for years and years now. So
Yeah.
anyway.
And then Nicole was in Frisco for the big
Mhm.
conference, but it was her first immersive as well.
Yeah.
So we got two immersive newbies.
Mhm.
But just for the people that don't know, why don't we start there? Nicole, what is your background? How long have you been in the industry? Kind of what's your role? And then we'll do Brittany next.
Yeah. So I was actually in the property and casualty insurance industry before I got into co-working. About 12 years, I was in customer service, sales, and then I was an underwriter. So that's like a completely different industry to be in, but it was very much like a lot of customer service based roles, even though the positions varied. I was in South Florida during all of this as well. And 4 years ago, Rob reached out to me, Sunny's business partner, who happens to be my uncle, and said, SOS help. We need a community manager, and I heard you might want to move out of South Florida, which we did. And so that took me to FireWorks, and in January it'll be 4 years. And so I am the community manager. We have a small staff of myself and Courtney, who spoke on one of the panels. She does our marketing and outreach, and I do everything else. And so we are a small but mighty little team, and it's been great.
Wait, can I add to Nicole's role? Nicole is also the answer any question in our community manager university program that Jamie wants input on. Tag Nicole and she knows.
Yes, I love that.
And what do you love about the industry, Nicole?
You know, so many things, but the one thing that always stands out to me, especially when we go to these events, is how non-competitive this industry is. You know, coming from like a completely different industry where people are trying to get sales and leads and it's not super friendly. Like this is such a communal place. And even though, your offerings might be different from the next space, people are just so willing to help you and encourage you and guide you. And even
Yeah.
if they're in a similar town as you or nearby you, I've just learned that, and I know it gets repeated a lot probably, but that everyone can find their own place. And so you have something to offer everyone. So it's okay if don't find your right fit because you can find it somewhere else. And just the camaraderie, I think, in
Yeah,
that
for sure.
really cool.
Awesome. Thank you. And Brittany, background?
Yeah, so I also was in sales insurance, and then I kind of got into life settlements after the insurance industry. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but yeah, so life settlements, I was there for a little bit, and then from there I started working on computers and phones. So I was fixing screens and motherboards, and then that's when my friend was actually working for Beth at the time, and that's when I kind of got my foot in the door with her, and I've been out here ever since and I'm really enjoying it. What I love most is being able to help people every single day. It's something different. It keeps me on my toes, whether I'm helping attorneys or oil and gas industries. It's just something different every single day, and it's been really fun and meeting tons of people and just helping their business grow too. It's been really awesome.
And you have a really unique and special relationship with Beth too, right?
I do, yes.
Someone you really care about.
I do. Someone I greatly, deeply care about. Yes.
Don't be shy.
I know.
So you're
I date Beth's daughter. Yes.
there. You.
We've
Okay.
been together for
Okay.
about,
I was
You're-
like,
yeah, we've
what
been,
the-
I was like, I
I'm
want
like,
to
don't
get
make
the
me
best-
out.
I know. But yeah, so we've been together for about 3.5 years now. So, and I've been here for about 4.5. So it was after I started here and we just connected. And yeah, so it's kind of turned into this family business. And Beth Noble, she is Beth DeGraffenreid's sister-in-law. And then her daughter, Brenna Noble, is working with us now too. So and we're all bees. So that's pretty fun too. It's like
It's
the BBB
funny.
crew. Yeah. So it's been
Totally.
great. Yeah. It's been awesome. One thing that I really love about this is every job I've had, it felt like a job, right? But this doesn't feel like a job. It feels like home, and it's not. You can get up every morning and look forward to something here, and that's what I've really enjoyed. So
Brittany, can I ask you a quick question? So is your role
yes,
today like front of house? Like,
community manager. So
yeah, so you're
I do
people
operations,
focused. Okay.
sales.
So you
Yeah,
went
yeah,
from like fixing motherboards, like
yeah.
somewhere in the back.
And it's awesome too because I can fix stuff here too. So if
I
we're
was
having
gonna
internet
say, man,
issues, yeah,
the
printer
printer
issue,
doesn't work, and
internet, yeah.
Brittany will
I
come
like to wear
running.
all the hats for sure. Again, it's really fun to just do something different every single day because you don't know what's like today. The printer went down, right? So you have to figure it out, and it was unfortunately wasn't something I fixed, but it's also you can figure out how to keep people moving with their business. So I knew our printer wasn't working, so I scanned. You have a scanning feature on your iPhone, and so that is a good feature to use if your printer goes down. So yeah.
You're a problem solver.
I love it.
And
We
Beth
are-
has raving things to say about her. She's incredibly grateful for having you, and
Yeah.
she basically knows you're a rising star in the industry.
Yeah.
So
Vice versa. Yeah, same to her. I really appreciate her and the opportunity that she gave me. So
well, let's start with kind of what was your initial experience. I mean, obviously, you guys, you were local, Nicole, obviously, so you know the market well and everything else. You know probably some of the players, but hadn't met some of them before. So, I mean, I think it's always fun when people start showing up for breakfast that first day, and then I have to scare them with my voice an hour later to tell them it's time to get in the room because everyone's just kind of congregating and catching up and getting to know each other. So, kind of, what was y'all's first experience a Wednesday?
I'll go first. The first person that really stood out to me with the panelists was Courtney Schwartz. I really enjoyed hearing her talk about the AEO and GEO because we kind of know that SEO is slowly shifting. And so when she said, it's better to get in the game now rather than too late. So that's something that we're taking and implementing here. We're gonna do the AI Institute, learningprop.com, and get certified with the AEO and GEO and put that towards our business. And so I really enjoyed that. And then Thrive Coworking, he talked about launching a coworking, leg on his, or a nonprofit on his coworking space. And that's something that we kind of were thinking about too, but it's like, how does this work? But seeing someone's actually doing it, the sky's the limit really with coworking. It's a great platform to do whatever you want. And there is no wrong answer. Anything can work. And so
Nicole,
my
go ahead.
coworker.
I was about to say, why don't we start with that panel, considering you voluntold Courtney for the role. So, that AI panel's so unique just because it's so new for so many people, and so many people are trying to figure out all the dynamics of it. And so for us, we've got vendors, FlexSpace AI and Unity specifically, that we've had speak and who people are starting to use more and more. But the problem is, we can't keep putting them on stage having the same discussions. And so really wanted to try to figure out, how do we get operators that are using AI as a way to operate their business, as a way to market, as a way to do other things other than just having an agent bot that people tap into. And so, Nicole, you want to talk, obviously, a lot of what Courtney does. You didn't know the other three panelists. I know you know Luke well, but you didn't know kind of how they view these things. So how was your experience with that panel?
Yeah, well, Courtney and I were talking, all of us were counseling her the week of, she was very excited and very nervous, because you have a little bit of that imposter syndrome, because she's like, these are tech guys and, here I am. But afterwards, I thought that was such a great representation of different viewpoints, because Luke does what he does. And then there's Michael Everts facilitating, and Tim, I think his name on the end, who's very much sounds like a tech guy, but was really honing in on the hospitality side. And then Courtney, who's kind of like a self-made expert in the area and the only female. And so I think it ended up being really a well-rounded conversation. And I mean, she was pleased with it, for sure. So I'm glad it was helpful for you. She will be thrilled that you
yes, it was great.
shouted her out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she was so nervous. I was in the hall talking to Sunny right before it, and she walked up and I was like, hey, you're going to be just fine. I promise you. And then Jamie, in typical Geo fashion, I literally announced her from the back of the room. I was like, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the great Courtney. And she was like, oh my gosh. I was like, see, you were nervous and now you can just forget all about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's hilarious.
but she knows what she was doing.
Yeah,
she knows what she was saying. Obviously, I think I tell people all the time, the more we talk about it, the more confident we get about stuff. So I'm glad that she had an opportunity to jump up there and share her experience and everything else. And Nicole, I know you guys use a lot of what she was talking about, but I mean, AI is just going to become more and more of a part of what we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of our member works for HubSpot here. Well, a couple of them actually. And he was doing some kind of evaluation of our website and how we appear in searches. And he said, I have never seen a company this small appear the way that FireWorks is. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And it was so validating for her and for us, because it's like, she really is the only one that knows what she's doing. Like, I'm too focused on the members and the space. And so, it's like, I hope what you're doing is, bearing some kind of fruit, but it was really cool to hear from like an outsider's perspective, like whatever you're doing, it is working. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, I'm looking at your 131 5-star Google reviews, and I bet you take some credit for those. And
Yeah.
those certainly play into AI search
Yeah,
results for sure.
absolutely.
So that's part of it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it was Tim with General
Tim.
Provision, Jamie,
Oh,
that was
Hatsy,
on
Tim
there.
Hatsy. Yeah.
And you know how technical he can be, right? He's big on hospitality, but he
Developer at heart. Yeah.
so he geeks out on that kind of stuff, and so he was very passionate about kind of, you know, how it can be used.
One thing that I loved was Jamie, I met Kim Lee.
Do you not met Kim?
No.
Before? Oh, she wasn't in Texas for some reason. That's so fun.
Yes. Well, I saw her and I immediately was like, "Oh my gosh, I know her face." And I walked up to her and I was like, "I'm on Jamie's group. I'm in the calls with you." And she had driven over, from Birmingham because that's only like a couple hours from
Yeah.
us. So she sat with us at lunch and, she's a single operator as well. So that was really great for her to meet Sunny. And then she realized her and Sunny were on the same flight
Yeah, they
group.
were in our operator
Oh, wow.
membership for a long time. And then Kim's a coach in our community manager program. And she's just a great operator. She's the other one I'll tag with, like, she's really good at mail. She's really good at marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved meeting her. And then I met one of my contacts at Alliance Virtual Mail, Juan, and he had reached out to me before. He's like, "I saw you're going to be there." And so that was great to finally put a face to someone's name, I loved that.
And I think that's a really cool part about these things is you can't really hide, right? I call it out at the beginning of each one of them is there is no wallflowers here, right? There's not a corner to hide in with, you know, we had 77 people registered, but we'll call it, we probably had 50-ish, 55 people in the room at a time. So it's hard to hide in that kind of environment. And so I think that was one of the cool things. So having been in Frisco, Nicole, I mean, like, how did it feel compared to that?
Yeah. I mean, I will say every time I got up or there was a break, I was talking to somebody different. And you almost, which can happen in the big conference too, but it definitely was like you didn't feel as rushed, like to get to the next thing or, oh, there's so many more people I want to meet. It was really like you could kind of be more present with them. And I had seen, forget her last name, but her first name, Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
with FlixSpace,
Everybody knows Christmas is like Prince. You only need
Yes.
one part
And
of
it was
her
like,
name.
"Oh, I haven't seen you since Texas." Like, reintroducing myself and talking to her. She had come down from New York and so, sat and chatted with her at breakfast real quick. So it was definitely you felt like you kind of could maybe take your time with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what about you, Brittany? You had an all-star guide. I mean, you were with Beth most of the time, so she knows most of those people.
Yeah, we met a good connection we met. Well, Nicole touched on this, but Alliance Virtual Offices, I got to meet, Juan, and that was cool meeting him because I've talked to him for the last 4 years. And then another connection that we really made was with iPostal William.
Yeah.
And really, because we were already kind of looking at that. How can we streamline our mail process? Because it just takes forever sending emails. And so talking with him that he has this digital platform and we're still working out the CMRAs over in Oklahoma. No one really knows what it is and how it works. So really talking to him. Yeah. So I'm topping on a call tomorrow. He's got a seminar regarding the CMRA. So yeah, I think just you meet so many different people and it really, you might not think about that it could help your business at that moment, but just having their card in your pocket and, reaching out when that time comes. So it was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, I think that makes such a big difference. And especially this one was, Jamie, you were in San Francisco, and this was an even a smaller kind of venue. It was a conference center, and so it was a little more compact than we even had there, where you could kind of get away into the balcony or even go sit in one of the phone booths. So it drove a lot more conversation. The other panel you kind of touched on, Brittany, was the culture panel, right? So, I mean, what were y'all thoughts around the culture panel? I mean, we had some really solid operators that kind of led that.
Yeah, with the culture that, I mean, we're into that too. We love hospitality. We want people to feel like it's their second home, right? One thing I heard was if it feels like just another office, they're probably going to pick their house over an office space if it's just another thing, right? So what's going to separate us from these other office spaces or just traditional office space in general? So that was interesting. And with Ramon, I really liked how he was culture driven. He everything about his members mattered to him, and authenticity really matters. It does. And to be yourself, your true self, and because people can see that. People can see if you're being, fake or you're just wanting money or whatever that is. People are going to see right through that and they're going to go away. It's going to turn them off. But you can tell that he really focuses on what his members need and want, and also his staff. He focuses on his staff is prepared and trained for that too. So I really enjoyed hearing him speak.
But you, Nicole.
Yeah, that I enjoyed that panel too. Emily, I think her name was, the family owned. She was one of the first people I met when I walked in at breakfast that morning. Didn't know she was going to be on a panel, so that was cool to see her up there.
My sister threw her under the bus just same way as you threw Courtney under the bus.
Oh.
By the way. So Julie, her sister, was like, "Oh, Emily would be great." Emily wasn't even in town when she told her she was going to be on here. So it was awesome.
Oh,
By the way, Jamie, it's Peachtree offices.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear people's perspectives who are like have bigger spaces than we do. It's always like the challenge, like, how can we apply that to our, little corner in Marietta? Because we're definitely the suburbs, even though we were only 20 miles from the event. I mean, I had to stay at my mom's house to cut down the traffic, and then coming into the city, like all these suburb people were kind of like, oh gosh, like feels stressful. We're in the city. So it is interesting how different, even though we're all considered Atlanta, like how different our markets can be too. So I had written down the power of, and this could have been from the marketing panel, but I had written down, the power of video testimonials from our members and already have one on the calendar to get recorded next week. So yeah, that was something that I took away was instead of like spending money on, this sounds like the marketing panel actually, so I'm not really answering your question, but instead of
It's a
spending
good
money
segue. It's a good
on,
segue to the marketing panel.
yeah, on flashy signs, it's like we had a member who came to me literally offering themselves for, a testimonial because of an experience they had collaborating with someone they just met. And I said, you know what? I have a girl that can be here this month to record it. Are you willing? And they're like, yes, because she just made me some money after talking to her. And I was just like, okay, like it's going to be easier for me. Like, and so, but I had that in my mind from the event, just get a testimonial, for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the cool part is the goal of all our content, but certainly these smaller ones is to be able to take notes and go back and implement them like the day you get back, right? And so the testimonials it's really easy to even text your team, be like, start thinking who we're going to get testimonials from, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, these are things that people are using that they're finding success with as they're doing their business. So that's always a big part. And I think, Jamie and Kim and the entire team at Everything Coworking does such a great job with helping with those. And so I think that's the goal of how do we implement some of those things?
Mm-hmm.
So Nicole, dog or cat?
Dog.
It's his name, her name.
Birdie.
Birdie.
Kind of dog.
She is a golden and labradoodle mix.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Rambunctious.
Actually, we just found out she's going blind and she's a puppy. So
Oh no.
I
Wow.
know. Yeah, it could be a birth defect, but we're in the
Wow.
middle of trying to be like, what's happening here?
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
But,
Wow.
yeah, we haven't had her long, so it's quite sad.
Oh.
Jamie's got a rambunctious little spunky thing like that too.
I know. I have two. One of them's 10 and they're golden doodles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one's 3 and the 3-year-old is
wow.
a doozy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So much energy. She barks at me all day long if I'm at home and wants me to play with her.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when you first got her and we were trying to record these podcasts, and I'm like,
Probably she
You're
was potty training. Yes. Yeah, they're not allowed in the home office. While I'm on calls anyway.
Right.
well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, Nicole.
Me too.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sad.
What about you, Brittany?
I
Dog,
got a
cat,
dog.
bird,
I
lizard,
actually have a dog and a turtle.
Oh,
turtle.
dog-
Oh,
Let's
I
start with the
love
turtle.
A turtle, yep. His name
What's the turtle's name?
Steve. And
Steve. Okay.
of course.
love that.
the dog, her name's Nala, and she's our Shar-Pei Rottweiler mix. So she's got like
Oh.
she looks like a Rottweiler, and but she's got like the wrinkles in her face. Cuddlebug. She likes to play a little bit, but really loves the cuddles. That's all she really wants to do is cuddle. So, yep, she's great.
Here's Birdie sleeping.
Oh.
Oh,
So she's long hair. Not-
yeah.
I'm sure your doodle has curly hair.
Yeah. Curly.
Mhm.
Yes. They have spa day tomorrow. It's like a small fortune to get them groomed.
Yeah. Can we real quick, you know what I loved about the event that I can't forget to mention is the last panel, the Alliance. I mean, I was just so fascinated by hearing the 3 of them and just how they had just met Perry from Industrious,
Mhm.
and you can help me with the other 2's names.
Peter Greenspan and Michael. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Barone?
Yeah, that was fascinating to listen to them, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that
Like
was
halfway
hilarious.
through, really, it was early on. Peter was like, I was going to sue you, but I kind of like you, and I've decided I'm not going to sue you. And this banter like continued.
It was
And
so
finally,
funny.
like halfway through, I'm like, I've realized that we're like the UN. Like
Yeah.
we literally negotiate a peace treaty while we're here. And so it was just so cool to see the interaction. But and I knew it was going to be magical anyways, just because they all know so many of the same landlords because they're intertwined in so many ways. But it was just a really, really cool interaction between those 3. Just very open, collaborative. There was a few things that like I can't answer that, but it wasn't
Mhm.
anything like big. It was just, obviously deals that they're currently working or things like that. So it was really cool.
That was really
Yeah.
cool.
But what did y'all find most interesting other than that interaction? I mean, were there specific topics that really kind of caught your attention? Deal structures or the way they deal with landlords or
Yeah, to me, I'm still wrapping my head around the managed service agreements. I just doesn't I just don't understand why a landlord would ever do that deal. It doesn't make sense to me. But I'm still learning, and but that's really interesting. And then another thing was how we work really isn't focusing on opening new locations. So that was interesting to me
Smart.
too. So
Yeah. Or the fact that the location in Kentucky,
yeah, London, Kentucky.
London, Kentucky.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So then I think that's part of the things to consider is like IWGs out there. They've got so many. I think they're up to 75 locations just in DFW, right here in Dallas Fort Worth. And so, and I think Brittany, you guys were telling me they just did 5 new ones in Oklahoma City, so that's up to 6.
Yeah.
But people need to consider is they've already kind of saturated a lot of the markets. And so now they can look at these smaller ones, but they're also not signing traditional deals in those markets, right? They're no risk deals for them, right? The landlord's the one taking all the risk on. And so, yeah, they'll go into London, Kentucky to do the deal because it's a no capex deal for them. And so, I mean, I think those are the things to consider too. Just
Mhm.
because they're going off the grid doing deals like that doesn't mean they're going to be successful
Right.
and that they're even viable. And I'm not saying they're not, because I haven't done my due diligence on some of these markets, but I think that's unfortunately what people see is, and Jamie knows better than most, as long as she's been in the business, as long as many people she's advised, they're probably doing a 4 or 5,000 square foot deal in London, Kentucky, which doesn't work for most operators. You just can't make enough money.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think that's a big
If you're
part.
scratching your head, keep scratching your
I
head.
am scratching my
If
head.
you're like, how
yes.
does
I'm
that
like, what?
pencil in Excel?
Yeah.
Then you're probably right. There are
Yeah.
ways to make the structure work for management agreements. And there are a lot of reasons why a landlord might want to have that offering or convert space. But right market, right fit, right, why, right structure, all those things have to be in place. It's,
Mhm.
yeah.
And how long has the building been vacant, right? I mean, there's
Mhm.
so many different factors to go to it. I mean, regionals will take the risk because they're guaranteed some type of management deal, regardless of there's a dollar in rent being created or or profits, if you will, or there's, $10,000 a month being created. They're still getting their management fees. So take that into consideration. And then from a WeWork standpoint, I mean, you got to remember they grew so fast and so irresponsibly that they're having to pull back and be like, okay, do we want to keep these locations open? And do we need a downsize, right? I think y'all all heard me or Jamie wasn't there because she didn't join us, but y'all heard the example I gave about Dallas, right? Where I was like, okay, we can only do 12,000 square feet in downtown because we have to, not because I want to. And then WeWork announced their 70,000 square foot location, or I think it might have been 90, which they never took most of and even built it out. So they never even took possession of it. But those are examples too, where they're having to fix their problems like that and also figure out how do we grow intelligently and make those decisions, right? And so they're still trying to figure navigate through all those things. And then to the industrious conversation is they're trying to figure out how they grow outside of just industrious, right? They've got that new indie hall concept, which is kind of more of a second tier. And by second tier, I mean a suburbs type of play. And they're trying to figure out, what does it look like? Where do they put it? How do we build it out? What works? What doesn't? They've only got, man, I want to say a handful, maybe 3, 4. So they're still trying to figure out where they put the Courtyard by Marriott's, right? To basically supplement the Marriott business. So
Mhm.
I think there's still more to be learned from that perspective.
Mhm.
What else did y'all want to talk about that y'all enjoy? How was so I know, Nicole, you missed the tours, but a lot of those spaces. But Brittany, I know that was a big part that you were excited
Oh,
about
yeah, the
because
stores were awesome.
getting to
Because
see.
obviously we don't have space like that here in Oklahoma City. So Rome really stuck out to me, but they're not really competitors of, Regis or WeWork or anything like that. They focus on hospitality meeting rooms, and these meeting rooms are massive. So that was really, really neat. They had I've never seen a whole kitchen, at a co-working space. So that was really interesting. Lucid Private Offices, I've been following them since I've started here, and that was really cool to see their space in person. I've seen all the pictures online, and so that was really, really cool. And Firm Space. Firm Space kind of resembled a little bit about what we did. We, especially here in Edmond, we focus on attorneys, consultants, CPAs, just that professional experience. And so that was pretty cool to see their space. And I was very surprised with a lot of the open space that I saw. There was a ton of open space. So, and what we focus on is a lot of just private offices, virtual offices, and meeting rooms. So, but we have a lot more private offices and meeting rooms and things like that. So, it was
Brittany, if
interesting
you're
for sure.
scratching your head on open space, keep scratching your head on open space. No, what?
True.
Different
Yeah.
models work for different.
It does,
different
yeah, it
people,
does.
but
And that's the thing too, is it doesn't just because it's not good for us doesn't mean it's not going to work for someone else. And that's what I really liked to see is how different all these spaces were compared to the other operators. And so it blew my mind. It really did. And so it was really, really cool.
So how cool was Austin? I'd heard from several people that Atlanta Tech Village
Oh,
was gonna
Tech
be pretty
Village,
cool.
yeah, that was
What
super
was that
cool.
experience?
It was, you know, it was surprising that y I liked they had a coffee shop and the lounge area and all that, but if you walk around the space, you'll see, cables laying on the ground or things like that, and over here, we're like, "No, everything has to be nice, everything has its spot." So it was interesting to see that, and then, she talked about how you could really meet your co-CEO there. You could meet someone that, an investor or whoever that might be, but you can meet them in that space, and I also liked how they don't put other kind of industries in that space. It's all about tech, and I really thought that was really interesting. So, yeah, that was a really cool spot too.
Yeah, so I'd love to get y'all's take on that. Let's think about that. I think we're seeing more and more specialization in the industry.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on? I mean, you are both running spaces. You're both part of a ecosystem. So do y'all see that continuing to evolve and the opportunity to focus on attorneys or therapists or tech or whatever the case is? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if we were to if we're looking downtown Oklahoma City, I think attorney space would be ideal because you want to be about 5-10 minutes from the courthouse. I think that would be a great idea. But I'm also seeing that a lot of attorneys need what we do without having to pay someone on their own staff, So I help attorneys all day, every day. Counselors, we have a lot of that in Edmond. And because we're great for mediations, they need someone to witness and someone on their staff might not be available. They might be on vacation. So having us here and, available is they really appreciate that. So I definitely see it becoming more of a thing for sure.
Yeah, we've had an increase in demand from attorneys as well. I have 3 current members and then a couple companies that just use us for conference rooms. But we started out as a place that was geared towards creatives because Sunny and Rob's business is marketing. And now we have a group of attorneys. We have a realtors kind of are a lot more transient. They come and go a lot, but we always have someone coming in. And then we actually have quite a few people in the financial industry, like wealth management and tax experts. So I we want you all, but yeah, I've definitely seen a demand in attorneys unlike in previous years, but we have wanted to expand for so many years now. I'm Jamie, I'm sure you've heard, and at one point the plan was to offer more than just co-working and, maybe do like a rooftop bar or a mini like a food offering. We have a member here that owns a Cuban restaurant. We talked to him about maybe him having a little stall. And so if we were to ever get a second location, our owners want to have something in addition to co-working because at least where we live, it's the places that the restaurants and the coffee shops that do well, they offer more than just one thing. And it's like
Mhm.
a little walkable neighborhood and you want to get like a lot of bang for your buck, and because then you got to go home to family, so what's the path of least resistance? Keeping your like radius small, which I'm on board with that because I have a family at home too. So
Mhm.
that's kind of how it is here.
Amy, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on what?
Just the continued evolution of specialization for
Oh,
co-working spaces.
I really love the specialization. I mean, Nicole, the testimonial that you mentioned where, the member said, I just made money, because I collaborated with someone. I think that most often can happen when people are kind of in a similar vein. So I'm guessing that was probably one of your creative members. But to your point, it's like, well, you can be for someone, but not against, anybody else who wants to join. And Brittany, I was curious about, when you say you help attorneys, all day long, like what does that look like? And I know we've had Beth on and she's very focused on service and
Mhm.
hospitality and that your rates kind of reflect that. And I think that actually a lot of folks are struggling with attracting attorneys because so many of them have just gone home, and to your point, well, well, then what brings them out of home? Maybe it's access to services that are like shared services that they don't have at home and in a place to bring clients and whatnot. But I think that's a real challenge that can only be overcome when you're sort of specialized and offer something really specific for a group. And also in a market like Atlanta, there's so much supply and it's a big market. So, there's demand for it. But I think specialization really helps because otherwise, how do people pick except sort of what's closest or that kind of thing. So I think we'll continue to see success with people specializing. Although I will say I had a group go through my startup school who did a space only for their attorneys, and they did a space only for attorneys in the Woodlands outside of Houston. Fantastic location, like so many things right. It was very hard for them to market specifically to attorneys. I wonder if sort of the way search is working now would be beneficial for that in terms of them showing up, but nobody's really searching for, co-working for attorneys, right? So like Ruben, you guys probably all know Ruben Lau was just like, I can't really make this work. Like I can't get, ad results from that combo. So they had to kind of generalize their marketing a little bit more. So I don't think it's easy to specialize, but when someone walks in, I mean, for either one of you, I'm sure they're like, yeah, this is like exactly the right place for me. Because Brittany, I'm sure the things you talk about are so, can be very specific to like the customers who tend to be the best fit for you. And then Nicole, with the creative side, you've got that beautiful like content creation space and, you kind of just speak the language. I mean, the broader group does. So I think we'll continue to see that. And I still really like specialization.
Same.
I also really like the multiple offerings in one. And I also like finding other ways to create revenue because co-working is such a specific like day part that, models that incorporate food and bev and all that stuff, I think is still kind of complicated. You have to have the right location and, you can't just, put up a coffee shop and expect that it's going to be profitable in a small space that doesn't have the right foot traffic, for example. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the really cool part is as more and more people figure out how to kind of cross collaborate with people, how do you kind of find spaces that do allow for specialization within a field, but also has other things that are complementary to it, right? I mean, it's always interesting. We keep talking about attorneys, but how many people work with attorneys? You have real estate attorneys, you have healthcare attorneys, you have, financial attorneys, all kinds of things. So it's always fun to kind of see how we can grow that ecosystem and everything else. So what was your biggest win that you were most excited about for 2025? Brittany, go.
The biggest win, like a goal that I've hit so far or that I'm going to hit?
Whatever the biggest win for you was.
So, yeah, I would say my goal for Edmond was to end the year at 90% occupancy, and we're going to end at 100%. And we've actually pre-leased some offices that are coming available next year. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, and then I'm just going to keep pushing. My goal for next year is to get that AI Institute certification and start putting my head into that so that we can keep growing.
Nicole, and I'll tell you what you just did was one of the most exciting parts that I find of our industry is, and especially you see it in a small room like the one we were in, but people celebrate each other. Like you immediately started clapping for when she said they're 100% and you're not even in the same city. You're not on the same team. But it was funny. Anytime anyone said anything positive on the stage about their space, the entire audience started clapping because y'all all know what it means to be able to reach some of these thresholds. And so I think it's so awesome that we can celebrate each other and it's not competition. So thank you for showing that, Nicole. So your big win.
Yeah, well, because I feel you, Brittany, because I have one more office to sell
You got
and
this.
I will
You
be
do it.
in your shoes. And it is even if I don't sell it, I'm going to celebrate it because we
Mhm.
had 2 large companies leave this year. And the fact that I just have one more to sell, I will still pat myself on the back, but
Absolutely.
I would love to end the year, like you said, at 100% because, there were times earlier this year where I was just like, people don't want offices right now. They want day passes and they don't want to commit. And so I was like, I am not going to end the year meeting my goal, but it has changed in this last quarter. So I think just losing 2 major members, like kind of like enterprise companies this year and ending the year the way we, you know, at almost at capacity will be a win for me, I think either way.
Now it's time to raise prices.
Right.
If you're over 90%.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
are. Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation, but yes.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Such a good feeling.
All right. And now we're going to end with Nicole, the 3 things you love about yourself most.
Oh, I'm repeating what someone said to me and is that I can laugh at my own jokes.
Okay.
One, I have, and I am good at remembering, keeping in touch, remembering birthdays, special dates, even
Yeah.
if it's not in my daily life. And I'm a peacemaker in my family.
That's awesome. And what's the one thing you love most about Jamie?
Oh boy.
Maybe. Well, gosh, your perspective on several questions I've had over the years has helped me a ton. I mean, whenever we have a question in our staff that we cannot answer, I know that the group you've provided, the CMU group, is going to have that answer for me. And a lot of times, your little target emoji, you know, she'll be like, "You've hit the nail on the head. This is it." And I've started to use that too. And I mean, it's been really invaluable, Jamie. So thank you. Like your wisdom and just the group that you've created has, like, I wouldn't be the the employee that I am today without that group for sure. So
Well, I appreciate that. But like I said at the beginning, right back at you, because I'm so grateful to have you in the group. And you, I think your responses often get that target when they're for someone else too. You give
oh,
back a lot. I appreciate that.
thanks.
All right, Brittany, you got it. You got a cheat session there because what are your 3 things you love about yourself most?
3 things I love about myself would be how patient I am. I'm a pretty patient person. I work really well under pressure. I like to do several different things at one time and figure outer. If I don't know something, you can count on me to figure it out. I will find
Figure
the
outer.
answer.
I've never
Yeah.
heard that. I like it.
Yes. So I would say those are the 3 things that I love about myself for sure.
And your hair always looks exactly the same.
Oh,
like it
I
doesn't
was
move.
going to
It's
say,
pretty
can I say I
impressive.
love her hair?
Yeah.
It's
I
totally
appreciate it.
like an external thing, but it's super cool and it fits your, you wear it really well.
Thank
No,
you.
you can't even see
Um,
the whole getup. I guarantee you, it all speaks to it.
Nice. Yeah, and Brittany, the description of yourself, I mean, is kind of like a professional description, but it certainly puts you on the like
Mhm.
higher for, this role. It's like a perfect match.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, really appreciate y'all joining us. Certainly, it was kind of last minute, but I wanted to get the perspective of 2 people that were new to the immersive experience, and so thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to hopefully seeing you at other events.
Yes.
We'll make sure. I know Beth comes. We'll have to get Sunny to send you, Nicole.
Yeah.
So really appreciate y'all joining us. Jamie, you have anything that closes out with?
No, it's just great to get to spend time with both of you. And yeah, thanks for Geo likes to last minute plan sometimes. So thanks for making this happen. And it helps me experience the event vicariously. Love
Well,
it.
thanks.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Yes, this was great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you for having me.